Hey, we got a special guest for you. We've been efforting the big shooters. We had Field Yates yesterday, and today we're bringing in his co-worker. Look at him live in his car, just feeling great. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, the newsbreaker himself, joining us here on CHGO Bears. Jeremy, thanks for making time. We appreciate having you back here. Let's just get right into it. Your
Yes, sir.
reaction to everything the Bears are doing. Like, jump in here, whichever way you want to go, from the DJ Moore trade to releasing Tremaine to
Yeah.
just how they're going to pivot with the Drew Dahlman news.
Yeah, great to be with you. So, yeah, it's been a lot to process. The DJ Moore trade made a ton of sense. I mean, he was clearly the third wheel, I guess, on the offense, and they got real value. The fact they got a second-round pick is huge. You shed cap space. It just made a lot of sense. You let the young guys play, Luther Burden, Colson Loveland, roll with those dudes. And then, it's interesting because when they made that move, you start to wonder, like, okay, well, are they going to go after pass rush, defense? Like, are they going to load up on that side with some of the capital they now have? At one point, I thought they were in on Crosby. I do think they at the very least checked in on it. I don't believe they're really in it now. They actually feel okay at pass rusher, but they're going to add to the defense. It wouldn't shock if they try to get some interior help. They're going to have to do some of their secondary, and they know that. So they're going to have to spend a little bit there, whether it's bringing Kevin Byard back or getting a new safety. So, there are going to be some moves to be made. Linebacker. I would say Alex Anzalone is a name I'm watching. He was with Dennis Allen in New Orleans back in the day. Detroit linebacker, good and you can get him at a lesser clip. So those will be the kind of things I'm watching for with Chicago moving forward here.
Jeremy, what you mentioned the Crosby stuff. Are you able to get a sense for is that market just kind of going back up, and is that just getting too rich for some of the teams like the Bears, who I would also categorize as like interested, but to a point?
Yeah, I just think the market was always really high. They wanted 2 first-round picks plus a player, and he's going on 29 years old. Great elite player, but it's not the same situation as, say, Micah Parsons, who's 24 years old and probably a little more prolific. So because of that, it's hard to give up as much as Green Bay gave up for Micah, and that makes it difficult. So it's like he's a great player, but what's the threshold? So you're kind of dealing with that, but he's a guy that can put a team over the top too. So, Dallas is looking hard at it. It's tough. The Bears love draft picks. Ryan Poles loves to draft. He saw the value of that with DJ Moore, with the Bryce Young trade for the number 1 overall pick, and they were able to rebuild their whole team. So if you do it right, you can really hit it. Seattle's roster, look at the way they just won a Super Bowl. It was with a lot of draft picks, and then you supplement with the rest. So, that seems to be the model. I just don't know if Brian Poles is comfortable giving up 2 1s.
What do you think happens with Tyler Linderbaum, Jeremy? We've been, before you came on, Hoag's making a point that perhaps that should be the Bears' number 1 target.
So, yes, they're going to get a center. I don't know if it's going to be Linderbaum. Teams that I believe are in on him would have been the Chargers, but they signed Tyler Byard today. The Raiders, the Giants to a point. I don't know if they're willing to get in that price range, despite John Harbaugh's connectivity with him. And then, Tennessee Titans are looking hard at centers and could be top of market. So you're going to have some suitors. He's got enough teams in his market that he could leave Baltimore and be comfortable. I don't know if that's Chicago. I don't sense that right now, but they're going to get somebody, and they got Ryan Bates in house that they could re-sign. They could go get another starter. There's some other guys out there. Connor McGovern is a good player who will probably get maybe something close to a Drew Dahlman contract from last year. So maybe you backfill with something like that.
All right. I don't mean to put you on the spot here because this news was kind of fresher, but Taylor Decker out in Detroit. Obvious connections there to Ben Johnson. Bears also need a left tackle, and a 1-year stopgap would maybe make sense with Ozzie Trappilla's injury. Just wondering if you have any intel on that possibility. Maybe the hard thing is to kind of know what his market would be and what he actually turned down in terms of a pay cut in Detroit.
Yeah, my sense is that, he's been a good player there for a long time, but it kind of started to slow down and physically beat up a little bit. So I don't necessarily sense that he's going to be hot on the market right now. I could be wrong. He was a good player, but, if you're Chicago, You could bring back Braxton Jones, who really didn't play much last year, but he's got 44 starts. You could put him in a prove-it situation on a 1 year, and then, he can go and try to play well and make money elsewhere in 2027, and then you bring back Ozzie. That to me would be the cleanest way to do it. But we'll see how it shakes out. But the big one is Trent Williams. If he's released by San Francisco, that's the one that would shift the market. And it really wouldn't necessarily be Taylor Decker. It would be more Trent Williams. If somehow with this huge cap hit, if the 49ers realize they just can't do anything else and can't get him to a long-term deal and he wants to go elsewhere, do they cut bait from now till, say, Tuesday?
A couple more here real quick, Jeremy. Do you have any idea what the market is for Kevin Byard right now? Because that was a big-time leader in the Bears locker room. They'd like to have him back, but It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I don't sense that he's like top of market because those are more for the younger guys, but he will do well. He's going to have a nice little price tag. And, the guy's got great ball skills. Chicago wants him back. He's 32, I believe. Excuse me. Sorry. 32. So, puts a cap on his earning power a little bit probably, but it just seems like a natural fit. Yeah, I was operating all along as if the Bears would move on from Jaquan Brisker and bring back Byard, locker room guy, has the ball skills, and then they could maybe use the draft for the other safety.
Jeremy, thanks for jumping on, man. We know you're busy, and we appreciate you making a couple minutes for us. We appreciate it. Great job driving, by the way. Excellent landing the vehicle. Strong performance. I hope you're at a fine lunch establishment or wherever, to enjoy the rest of your day. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'm actually hopping right on a show here shortly, so it's going to be a busy 6 days. We're going to be rocking and rolling. So, but no, always great to be with you guys for sure.